So you've been laid off. In this video, we'll cover what to do next. Let's go. Announcements and friends and family members seeing people getting laid off. We're seeing Netflix, Coinbase, Redfin, Masterclass, Peloton, Ford, Shopify, Tesla, just a few small companies. Unfortunately, I myself was laid off a little less than 2 months ago. And after seeing so many posts on social media about layoffs, I had to post this video to help out other job seekers who need that last little bit to get them over the hump. This video will also help people who are looking for a new job but haven't been laid off. And so if that's you, stick around and see if this will help. So, and if you find this content helpful, please like and subscribe to the channel. And if there's anything else you'd like for me to cover, leave a comment down below, and I'd be happy to cover it in an upcoming video. All right. So what to do when you get laid off? First things first, mourn. Maybe you cry, maybe you shout, maybe you get angry. But I think it's really important to be present in the moment and understand that it's a tough thing that you just went through, and it's okay. Usually it's not your fault, and usually there's restructuring going on in the company, and it's okay to mourn. When I was laid off, when I heard about it, I actually heard that someone on my team was going to get let go the day before I was laid off. And so as soon as the video call ended, that I was told that I was no longer going to be working there, I just folded my arms on my desk, laid my head down, and I just cried. And it was tough. It's a hard thing. Often you work with people that you spend a lot of time with and you enjoyed working with, and to lose that connection is hard. But obviously financially it's hard, emotionally it's hard. If you're a provider for your family or a single provider for your family, that's stressful. And so it's okay to mourn. Make sure you mourn. The next thing you got to do, relax for a day or 5, if you can't afford to financially, of course. After my last layoff, and despite having severance, PTO, some savings, some lines of credit cards, even having recently purchased some real rental income properties, I felt like I needed to get applications out as soon as possible. And so I tried to work on my resume for that first day or 2, but mentally I just could not focus. And I needed some time to decompress. And I was able to get to it, get after it a few days after having a few days off, and was able to get applications out in earnest. But if this does happen to me, and if it happens to you, I'm going to make a note to take some time to decompress and just give it a few days, because sometimes you're just rethinking everything that happened and how you might have been able to change it. And sometimes you just need time to do that. So that's number 2. Number 3, post to LinkedIn asking for leads. Be humble. I wish I had done this a little bit earlier. I waited a few days before I did that on this last layoff. But when you post, be short and brief, but be very specific on what roles you're looking for, where you want to work. Do you want to be in office? Are you okay with a hybrid? Do you want to be fully remote? Do you want to be full-time, part-time? Are you okay with contract work, contract to hire? Make sure you post all those things in a very simple, brief LinkedIn post, and that'll help people look at their company's job board to see if there's anything that might be a match, and then send it your way. I would highly suggest not posting, hey, if you know of any openings, and just being very broad. That's not helpful. People are busy, and often we're honestly strangers on LinkedIn. And people are nice, and some people may dig and look into your profile, but we're very busy. And so it's very easy for someone to go and just look for the specific job at where they're working and then refer it to you. And when I did that, I had lots of people recommending places to interview and apply to that I never would have considered. So keep your mind open, be humble, post to LinkedIn. Okay, next thing, obviously, Number 4, update your resume. In this last layoff, I learned about applicant tracking systems. So what those are is it's basically a keyword scanner. They will upload your resume to this program, and it will scan your resume for all the keywords that are related to your job and the job posting to see if you're a fit. If you're a fit, they'll bump you up to be reviewed by the recruiter, and then the recruiter will go from there. So make sure you're updating your resume, getting those applicant tracking system keywords plugged into your resume. I looked at a couple programs that will help you update your resume. One of them, the best one that I found and paid for, was called resumeworded.com. So this will score your resume with feedback. It'll optimize your LinkedIn, and all you have to do is upload your resume. It will scan it and give you feedback on what you can improve on, like number of bullet points, how brief the bullet points are, whether or not you have the keywords, do you have metrics within your resume, do you have the action verbs, and then this website also gives a ton of resume examples for all sorts of industries and jobs that already have the keyword trackers in it. And so I would highly recommend go and check that out, download some resumes, look at the designs, and make sure you're up to date on your resume. And I promise you, you'll get lots more calls. Okay, next thing, you got to update your references. If you're part of a layoff, odds are that you'll be able to ask your manager to be a reference for you. So as hard as it can be, make sure you're not angry when you're being laid off. The tendency, the urge is to want to fight back and be angry, but keep your cool and ask for a reference afterwards. Next thing, ask for recommendations on your LinkedIn profile. This is huge. If you enjoyed working with your coworkers, odds are they enjoyed working with you, and they would be happy to write a recommendation for you. And that goes a long way as recruiters and interviewers are looking at all the various profiles. They can see that you get along with people and you do good work. So always ask for recommendations on your LinkedIn. You can even build those out and copy and paste them onto a Word doc and include that as an attachment. Okay. Next up, make sure you post on LinkedIn every once in a while to up your visibility to others if needed. That's just a little tip that you do that initial post of what you're looking for, and you'll get some feedback and some links, leads to jobs. But post to LinkedIn talking about your progress or experiences, good or bad, and say, hey, I'm still on the hunt. And so make sure to post on LinkedIn every once in a while. Okay, next up, you got to check if you need to level up on your skills and your certifications, no matter the industry or the role you're working in. For me, even after finishing my bachelor's and getting my MBA, I continue to get certifications throughout my career, and that is extremely important. It shows employers that you're willing to learn, you're investing in yourself, and you're wanting to grow and make an impact. Next, you gotta apply for unemployment. Super important. If you weren't fired for cause, then you can qualify for unemployment as long as you meet all the rules and regulations of your state. So make sure you do that as soon as you possibly can. When you do that, typically you'll have to upload documentation, watch some classes on how to get jobs and write your resume. And then of course you'll have to post links to jobs that you've applied to. Okay, next up, have a document that's a living document, either a Word doc or a Google Doc that's prepared with interview questions and answers to commonly asked things. So top things that they're going to ask you. Tell me about yourself. Why do you want to work here? Tell me about a time when you had a problem at work. What's your biggest weakness? And then after that, those few core questions, have ready stories for questions that are related specifically to yourself in the role. And then of course, be prepared for what you're going to say with the salary and try and deflect that as much as possible. I can share a little bit more about salary stuff if anybody's interested in that. So if you're interested, comment down below. I would like to hear if that's something you'd be interested in. I can share my stories and some content with that. Okay, next up, you got to track where you've applied. And so I will share in the description down below a link to a Google spreadsheet that I use personally to track where I've applied, who I talked to, the pay ranges, the references I asked for, the date applied, and anything else you'll see on that link. Okay, next tip for getting a job. Use Google Calendar and to send out an availability link. This is something that you can use if you've paid for, I think it's called the Google One subscription, where you can get storage on your Google account. And with it, you're able to create a calendar that has slots that people can book once you send them the link for when they want to talk with you. And so this is an awesome resource. It takes all the headache of responding back and forth of days and times that work for you and maybe for them, and then you're waiting to hear back from them. Just eliminate all this headache. It's totally worth the investment. It just makes things that much easier. Okay, those were the tips for this video. Thanks for watching. Just remember, job hunting is hard. It's a full-time job. Remember to take breaks, go on walks, enjoy time with your family, and go easy on yourself. It's hard to push through and try and make a good impression, but you'll be able to do it. And if you follow these tips, it'll make it that much easier. Have a life outside of job hunting. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.